You were working in the cafe as usual when the cafe owner lady burst inside angrily. She was fuming in anger. What kind of monster are you? You beat my son like a bully. What is wrong with you? She yelled, pointing at you while you simply looked at her and then at her son who was hiding behind his mother, while his face was all bruised. First ask your son, why did I beat him? He'll give you your answer. She got more angry with your response. I don't want any answer. How dare you lay a finger on my son? You stood your ground, ready to explain. He was being a brat. He tried to touch me in a way that made me uncomfortable. I defended myself. Defend yourself? You could have just told me. Instead, you choose to act like a thug. Girls like you always cause trouble. Your blood boiled, seeing how she was trying to blame you. I never should have hired you. You are just a bad influence in this cafe. You came near her. You don't understand. I'm not the problem here. Your son is the one who was inappropriate. And instead of defending me, you are siding him? You think I would listen to a girl like you over my son? My son is innocent. I'm sure you are the one who's been asking for it. Before she could say further, you slapped, making her mouth wide open, and she looked at you. And you are asking for this. You and your son both are the same. You packed her bag and shot her and her son a last glance before leaving from there. She is a psycho. Her son looked at her. He was already terrified. The lady looked at him and hit his arm. You deserve this. You are a disgrace to me. Moments later, Jungkook came in the cafe and his eyes traveled around, but he couldn't find you. He got tense because you were working and staying in this cafe for a month now. He noticed that there was another girl working in your place. He spotted the cafe owner lady and walked towards her. Where is Ryan? He directly asked while that lady got furious hearing your name. Are you talking about the psycho? Jungkook's brows furrowed. I'm asking for Ryan, the girl who works here. Yes, I'm also talking about her. I fired her because Before the woman could finish her insult, Jungkook's hand shot out, grabbing her by the throat. Her eyes grew wide with shock as she struggled to breathe. The other girl behind the counter froze in fear, and her son stood still, his face turned pale. How dare you? How dare you call her that? He said angrily while the woman clawed at his hand, trying to get free, but Jungkook's grip tightened, stopping her from speaking. He held her there for a moment, letting her feel his rage, then suddenly let go. She fell back, coughing and gasping for air, her eyes now full of fear. Jungkook looked at her angrily. If you ever say anything bad about her again, you'll regret it. The woman just nodded, shaking with fear. The room was silent, the tension heavy. No one dared to move or speak. Now tell me, where is she? She gulped before looking at her son and then back at Jungkook. I don't know. She left after beating my son like this. Jungkook looked at her son. His face was bruised badly. A satisfied look came on his face as he got the idea of what could have happened. With one final glare, Jungkook turned and left the cafe, leaving the woman and her son terrified, knowing they would never speak badly about you again. Why everyone is getting too aggressive these days? The girl and people belong to her. Everyone is the same, she said when Jungkook finally left. You were wandering along the street, feeling lost and unsure of what to do next. Your job was gone and it felt like the world had turned against you. You have learned a lot from your past, that this world is not fair to innocent people. They always get the deepest wound even after thinking good for others. You are not the same Ryan anymore. You have stopped bearing. Life was always hard for you since your mother passed and your father married again. Both your stepmother and sister never seen you more than an object that they can use for their benefits. The day of the school performance, you clearly remember that day as if it happened yesterday. Your dress was set on fire while you were still wearing that, and your stepsister did that because she was jealous that you got the rose she wanted for herself. Jungkook saved you, the guy who you hated. He put his life in danger just to save you, and you can never forget that, but also you can never forget the things he did. When you first came in that school, you got crush on him. He was a little hope for you in your miserable life, but he turned out to be a bully. Although he never did anything extreme, but he broke your heart. He caused you more pain. And that's why you still hate him. The reason why you left that school was because your mother didn't let you finish your school. She wanted you to work and earn because your father died. Your childhood was worse than a nightmare, and now you stopped believing in anything. After a while, you found yourself in a small park, tired and hungry. You sat on a bench and pulled out a small bun from your pocket, the only food you had all day. You took a bite, but it didn't help the heavy feeling in your chest. What would happen to you now? You couldn't go back to your stepsister or mother. That wasn't an option, but you didn't know that the house was welcoming you without your stepsister and mother. Jungkook already punished them, and they were where they should be. As you stared into space, deep in thoughts, you sensed someone nearby. From the corner of your eyes, you could see Jungkook at a distance. There's no day he never come to you, and you know he's not the same Jungkook anymore. You simply got up, pretending not to care. You started walking again, acting like his presence didn't bother you, but you knew he was following. Jungkook kept walking behind you, keeping a respectful distance. He didn't say anything, but you could feel his eyes on you. It was as if he was waiting for the right moment. You couldn't take it anymore, so you stopped and turned around facing him. He stopped as your eyes met. Are you going to follow me like this everywhere? There was a silence moment for some time before he again looked at you. Jungkook noticed your lips were bleeding. He took a step towards you but stopped when you stepped back. I'm asking something. Your lips are bleeding. Did that guy do anything? You rolled your eyes. You don't need to be worried. I can handle my life. Tell me, when are you going to stop following me? His eyes softened with guilt and plead. I don't want to stop until you forgive me. You sighed. Okay, I did. Is that okay, or you also want something else? Ryan, you said you know that I didn't set that fire in your dress. I know I wasn't innocent and I deserve to be punished for adding more to your pain, but now I want to pay for that. I know it's not easy, but please give me a chance. You looked at him for some time and then took a step closer to him. Jungkook, you know what I was thinking earlier? You never seemed to be a bad guy to me until the day I saw the real you. I couldn't believe that the guy who looked so lovable can do such things. You were my hope, but the next second you became the guy I wanted to go away from. How can you expect me to give you a second chance? I understand. I was the guy who let you down. I was the guy who made you feel small. And I hate that I became that person for you. I know I hurt you, Ryan. I know I bullied you back then. I thought it was harmless teasing, but it wasn't. It was cruel. And I was wrong. You stared at Jungkook while your heart was heavy with mixed emotions. He had never been this honest with you before. The memories of school rushed back, how he and his friends would laugh, how they made you feel small. You had trusted him once, maybe even liked him, but everything changed the day of the fire. He saved you but let others think it's his doing just to make himself cool. You didn't start the fire, but you didn't stop the rumors either. You let people think it was you, Jungkook. You were already making my life hard. Why didn't you just tell the truth, that you weren't the one who tried to hurt me? Jungkook looked down. Guilt was all over his face. Because I was scared. I was too busy trying to act tough. I didn't want people to see me as weak. But by protecting myself, I hurt you. I'm sorry, Ryan. I've been sorry for a long time. His words took you by surprise. For years, you carried the pain and anger of what he did, but now hearing him say this, it felt strange. You took a step closer, looking him in the eyes. I wanted to hate you, I really did. But deep down, I couldn't fully believe that you were all bad. Part of me always thought maybe there was something good in you, that you weren't like everyone else. Jungkook's eyes widened a bit, like he couldn't believe what you were saying. You used to smile at me sometimes, and for a moment, I'd see the side of you that wasn't mean. I held on to that hope, but you never changed, at least not back then. Jungkook nodded, his voice was full of emotion. But I want to change now, Ryan. Not just for me, but for you. Because I care about you, and I know I don't deserve your trust, but I'm asking for one chance to show you that I'm different now. Tears stung your eyes, but you blinked them away. This was so hard after everything he had done. Could you really believe he had changed? Could you forgive him? I don't know if I can forgive you so easily, Jungkook. You said as your voice trembled. You were my bully, you took away my peace, and even now when I see you, I still feel the hurt. But you paused. If you really mean it, if you really want to be different, maybe I can give you a chance. Jungkook's expression softened, a small flicker of hope came into his eyes. Really, you mean it? He asked you as he could not believe. You nodded slowly, and you didn't give him this chance because you forgot everything. You saw that he was really guilty and changed a lot. There were tears in his eyes and a smile on his face. Thank you so much, Ryan. I promise I would never let you question your decision again. I'll make everything right. But listen, you said seriously, this doesn't mean I've forgotten what you did. It's going to take time. You have to show me that you have really changed, that you are not the same guy who made me feel small. Jungkook nodded, stepping closer to you. I will, I promise, Ryan. I'll never hurt you again. I'll do whatever it takes. For the first time in a long while, you felt a small crack in the wall you had built around your heart. It wasn't fully broken, but maybe, just maybe, he could be different now. Maybe the boy who once hurt you could become someone you could trust again. Okay, I'll give you the chance, but don't make me regret it. Jungkook nodded, happiness and promise in his eyes. I won't, I promise. As you turned to leave, Jungkook came to you, gently grabbing your wrist. Where will you go? You paused for a moment. You weren't surprised that he knows you lost your job and have nowhere to go. I'll figure something out, you said, pulling your hand away. He bit his lips slightly, seeing you just gave him a chance, but he still has to make you trust him. Maybe I don't know yet, but I'll manage, you said, looking to the other side. He took a deep breath before looking at you. You don't have to figure it out alone. You can go home. You shook your head immediately. The thought of going back to your stepmother and stepsister fills you with anger and hurt. I'm not going back there. I don't want to see them. I can't, not after everything. He took a deep breath and said calmly, home is yours now, Ryan. You won't find them there. Your brows furrowed in confusion and you looked up at him. What do you mean? What did you do? Jungkook smiled slightly, his eyes glinting with something almost mischievous. They are in their rightful place now. Something clicked in your mind and your heart raced. What did you do to them? Jungkook's smile grew as he leaned in a little. His voice was calm and steady. Let's just say they are paying for what they did to you. They'll understand the pain they caused. In a quiet countryside, there was a small old house surrounded by fields. Your stepmother, wearing old dirty clothes, was bent over pulling weeds from the ground. She was sweating and looked tired as she stretched her sore back. Mom, why do we have to do this every day? Your stepsister complained from a distance. She was trying to carry a heavy bucket of water, her hands shaking because it was so hard. Your stepmother grumbled under her breath, staring at the never-ending plans she had to pull out. Because that man sent us here. Who would have thought we would end up like this? She said angrily, wiping her dirty hands on her apron. Man, you mean that Jungkook? Your stepsister asked, dropping the bucket with a loud thud. Yes, him, Jungkook. all because we treated Vian badly. Now we are stuck here doing this hard work like poor people. Hannah let out a loud, frustrated scream and kicked the dirt. I can't believe this. I can't do this anymore. My nails are ruined and my clothes are dirty, and that Vian would be getting a princess treatment. I never thought she'll impress him and he'll do this to us. Stop complaining. At least we are not in jail. We have to keep doing this until he thinks we have suffered enough. Hannah groaned, sitting down on the ground looking exhausted. I can't believe this is happening. Why did we treat Vian so badly? She was always quiet. Maybe we are getting punished for what we did with her. He was standing at a distance watching them from afar as Jungkook brought you here to show you that the people who ruined your life were suffering. He turned his face towards you only to see your eyes shining as they were filled with tears. Memories started to flood your mind, how they had treated you like a servant, ordering you around, making you do all the chores while they lived in comfort. You had been like a maid in your own home, never respected, never loved, and now here they were, doing the same kind of work they used to force on you. You had never thought you would see this day, the day when they would pay for everything they did to you, but Jungkook made it happen. He made sure they understood what they had put you through. Jungkook's heart clenched seeing tears in your eyes. You don't have to say anything. I just wanted you to see it for yourself, to know that they're finally paying for what they did. You wiped a tear away, feeling lighter than you had in years. I never thought this day would come. I spent so many nights thinking they would never face what they did to me, but now they are living the life they forced on me. Jungkook gave a small nod while his eyes were watching you closely. I told you, Vian, I would make sure they understood. They'll never forget what they did to you. You looked at him, your heart swelling with gratitude. This wasn't just about revenge, it was about finally feeling free from the weight of that cruelty. You smiled through your tears, feeling like a huge burden had finally been lifted. Thank you for making this happen, he said softly, the words carrying all the emotions you felt. Jungkook slowly came near you, gently wiping a tear from your cheek. You deserve peace, Vian, and I'll make sure you have it.